Hey everybody, welcome to the Checkpoint Tech Happy Hour. I'm Bob Cruz.
Matt Kuball.
And we are very excited about bringing this back. So yes, the Checkpoint Tech Happy Hour is back. We did this a few years ago with a couple of our other folks who did a great job. But this is definitely not going to be your grandfather's Checkpoint Tech Happy Hour, although I could probably be some of your grandfathers. This is going to be different.
Yep.
So one way it's going to be different is that Matt and I are going to strive to make sure we don't exceed 15 minutes because we want you all to watch the whole thing and share it with others.
Right.
What are some other ways you?
Well, we'll probably only drink one beer instead of on the previous ones. I think we usually cracked at least two each.
All right. We're only going to drink one beer on camera anyway, so we're going to limit it to that.
Interviews. We're going to do interviews.
Yes. So we're going to have interviews. We're going to have some guests. So we're very excited about that. Some of them you will know. Some of them you will not, but you will be happy that you know them once we've introduced them.
Probably try to do some remote interviews too, since getting people into a location is always a little difficult.
Yeah, very true. So, because of the pandemic, and we're still living with that, and so many people working remote. Yeah, that's a great point, Matt.
Might come up with a screen back here to show them.
Yep.
Show them on the screen.
And we'll still, like the original, we'll still be doing enjoying a beer, or it might be a cocktail, bourbon, whiskey, wine, and occasionally, hey, we may do some tea and coffee in there as well.
Probably a good idea. If it's early, yeah.
Otherwise, we'll end up in a rehab center. But so that's how it's going to be different. As I mentioned before, my name is Bob Cruz. I'm CEO and co-founder of Checkpoint Technologies. I've been in IT for about 35, 36 years now. Started off as a Kuball programmer, and then in the late 80s developed a passion for quality assurance and software testing, especially test automation. And then in 2003, Joanne Cruz and I founded together Checkpoint Technologies. So that's a bit about my background. Matt?
I have been with Checkpoint Technologies for 8 years now. Over 8 years. I started as a support technician and have slowly learned all the tools. A lot of the Micro Focus suite was where I started, but my main focus is in automation with a little extra or some additional focus on test management and then performance as well.
Right.
But a little bit of everything. Yep. That's kind of what you have to do in this line of work, is know how to do everything, as well as be your own IT person and sort out all your certificate problems and stuff like that. So
you're right. One of the things, I have no doubt, we'll be doing a lot of different topics, and we're going to mention some of them in a minute. But one of the topics you just made me think of, Matt, that I want to make sure we do is sharing, giving folks tips on how to get into software testing and quality assurance, and how to improve their skills in that area. Because Matt, seriously, I don't hate complimenting you on camera, but you're one of our engineers that, when you started with us, you didn't have any experience in these solutions.
No, not at all.
And due to your own aptitude and intelligence and drive, you learned so many different, how many test automation solutions have you touched now that you have some experience with?
It's got to be at least 7, 8. I'm sure it's 10 or 15 that I've just forgotten.
Right.
There's 50 different flavors of people's application they've layered on top of Selenium WebDriver. So there's a bunch of also-rans there that you can throw them all in the same bucket, but basically WebDriver. But all sorts of different.
And it started off with us with Quick Test Professional, right? On the test automation side.
Yep, I started.
Yeah, so so we'll be doing a segment just on those kind of topics, and that's one where I look forward to you, Matt, sharing your experience with everyone to give them some ideas on how they can get into it and how they can rapidly improve their skills.
Yeah, and I think I wanted to mention that the shorter length of the podcast or video cast, whatever we're calling this, will allow us to go into a little more depth on single topics, cover them in depth, and be done with it, rather than it being an hour video with 25 different topics in it, stuff like that. So,
right. Yeah, no,
getting into test automation would be a great start as a 15-minute deep dive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're going to be covering a lot of different topics, and one of the things I'm excited about, and I feel like will enhance our show here, the Checkpoint Tech Happy Hour, is that I used to be extremely technical 20, 25 years ago. I used to be very much, I don't want to say tool jockey in a bad way, but I used the solutions, did a lot of consulting, did a lot of training. Now my focus is more on implementing best practices, strategies, processes, planning, requirements writing, risk analysis, things along that line. Whereas Matt, you're touching the tools, which is a great thing.
Yeah, figuring out why it's broken.
Right, right. That's right. And better ways to do it, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
How to fix it, how to do it better, workarounds.
Yeah, that's what you learn over the years, is really all the tips or the tricks to make the tools do what you want them to.
Right.
Because a lot of times most of the time it's not just point and click and press the play button. Doesn't work that way.
Right.
I wish it did. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. So some other topics that I'm sure we're going to be covering, it will be some of the different partners that we have, and even some of the great organizations that create leading edge solutions that aren't our partners. We're going to have them on as well. Some thought leaders out there. Would love to have a chat sometime with Joe Colantonio, Jonathan Wright, who's with Keysight, Mark Tomlinson, who is Scott Moore, who are incredible performance testers, performance engineers.
Yeah. I've run into a lot of people who are leveraging AI stuff now for automation, and I don't have really any experience with it, so I'm very curious to talk to them on what they've been up to, and maybe they can even demo for us how that might be implemented to help anybody who's watching the videos.
Yeah. Hey, Tariq King, if you're watching, man, we would love to chat with you too. Tariq he's a fantastic speaker on AI. And then when you talk about AI, we'll touch upon how there's testing AI and the different applications and different systems, and then there's using AI to test. So we'll talk about both of those. Naturally, the Internet of Things, the Internet of everything. So we'll be talking about that. What else can you think of?
The Internet of Security issues, you mean?
Oh, Internet of Security issues. We'll talk about that.
That's what the Internet of Things is. The
Yes.
Internet of Security issues.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, true.
What are you drinking, by the way? We've never discussed this.
Man, that's right. So I am drinking Slightly Mighty, which is a low-cal IPA by Dogfish Head. And I drink this, why? Because it has 95 calories, 3.6 carbs, and no, we get no money from them, so we're not promoting these. It's just that I love these because I'm old and I've got to watch myself. What about you?
Me too. Guinness Foreign Extra Stout. It's not your grandpa's Guinness. It's the Guinness that is very popular in Africa because it's pretty high alcohol content, 7.5% alcohol.
Yes,
it's
and that's
delicious.
they sell more of that throughout the whole world than I'm pretty sure, right?
Beers in the world.
Isn't that what they said over at Guinness in Ireland?
At Guinness, they claim it's the most popular beer in Africa.
That's right. Oh, okay.
So, I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
I think it would be Budweiser, like everywhere else in the world. But
Yeah,
it's
there you
not.
go. Well, so what are some other topics that we're going to be covering? We'll be talking about processes, strategies, risk analysis. I mentioned that.
I'd like to get performance in here. We know a lot of performance. We have a lot of performance engineers that can talk current state of performance tools and stuff like that.
That's you just remind me of something. So some of our guests are not necessarily going to be celebrities, well-known speakers. I would love to have some folks that are actually in the trenches doing it and can share what's going on now, what's really relevant to them.
Absolutely. There's a big difference between what marketing says a tool can do and what the practitioners find that it can do.
Yes.
There's a lot of big dreams and big hopes in the pamphlets.
Yeah.
But it's always a little messier than that, for sure.
Yeah, yep. No, great point. And you know, one thing, you won't be seeing any demos during the Checkpoint Tech Happy Hour because there's just not enough time for it. But the key thing we're going to need, so this is our first episode of us bringing it back, of our remake for Checkpoint Tech Happy Hours. What we really need is for you all to let us know the individuals you'd like to see. Make any recommendations on guests we should try to have, even if it's a CIO, a manager, you know, a technical person, about any topics at all. Let us know. And as a matter of fact, for the first 5 who email us, and we're going to have an email at the end of the show for you to send in.
I think we're doing a comment on the bottom of the video, not email. Comments
Okay.
on the bottom of the video.
Okay, good. So comments on the bottom of the video. The first 5, if you give us some topics, then we're going to send you a Checkpoint Tech swag bag. And that will include our world famous beer testing t-shirt, which explains on the back how testing beer is like testing software. So this seems to be pretty popular at conferences.
Yep.
You know, it talks about after doing too much of either for 6 hours straight, your eyesight becomes blurry. So this will be included in the Checkpoint Tech swag bag. We are looking very much, we're looking forward to hearing from all of you. Matt, any last thoughts?
No, I'd repeat that. We're looking forward to rebooting the series, and hopefully we'll have a lot of good conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thanks everybody. Have a great day, and remember, make testing fun. Cheers.
Cheers.